So I just released my Stephanie Soo video. People have been demanding an apology. People have been demanding that I talk about what happened, and I've stayed silent on this matter for about 6 years straight. Since people keep bringing it up, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what happened, and I'm gonna show you what she did and what it cost me. And it's on my channel.
I turned to her and I asked, "Is there anything else you'd like to say?"
What'd you like to say?
Stephanie took this out of context and distorted it to make me sound way worse.
Nick turned to me and he said, "Is there anything else you'd like to say?"
Two internet icons, one beef that refuses to expire. From viral mukbang meltdowns to explosive exposés, Nikocado Avocado just dragged Stephanie Soo back into the drama spotlight years later. Secrets, staged feuds, shady edits, and Me Too twists? Buckle up, because this isn't just YouTube drama. It's reality TV with extra sauce. When mukbangs go wrong, they don't just spill noodles, they spill reputations. Picture this: 3 YouTubers, a massive meal, and 1 steaming pot of drama. Nikocado Avocado, always ready to season the tea with a little extra salt, allegedly pressured Stephanie Soo to dish out gossip about fellow YouTuber Veronica Wang during a collab. Stephanie, clearly not hungry for beef, refused. What followed was a meltdown of epic proportions. She claimed she felt cornered, ambushed, and riddled with anxiety.
But Stephanie brought out the shaky character voice.
And I just remember feeling so gutted. Like my heart had dropped to the ground. My heart had dropped to the ground because I thought it was going to be another interrogation.
To misrepresent me.
Dropped to the ground.
Your heart dropped to the ground?
He really thought that I wanted to spill my guts about Veronica all of a sudden.
Cue the panic attacks, the ghosted texts, and the cancellation of their next filming session. If you're loving the tea, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Nick didn't take it lightly. He blew up her phone with messages that Stephanie later described as overwhelming and invasive. The tea was boiling, but this was no ordinary YouTube spat. This was a recipe for a viral disaster.
People are really worried about Stephanie Soo after Nikocado Avocado did his weight loss reveal. You see, a few years ago, these two had one of the biggest internet beefs in history, and essentially they made a ton of videos about each other where Stephanie accused Nikocado of being manipulative and said that she was completely terrified of what he might do to her. And in Nikocado's video titled 2 Steps Ahead, he starts off the video by doing the reveal while wearing a panda costume head, which caused a lot of people to start digging up old videos of Stephanie where her husband is seen wearing the same exact panda head. So now everyone is convinced that the reason Nikocado wore this in his video is to basically send a message to Stephanie, and is basically alluding that their beef is not over and he still has plans to ruin her career.
When Stephanie finally spoke out, she brought receipts, emotions, and a title that had viewers clutching their pearls: Why I Am Scared of Nikocado Avocado. One upload later, the mukbang community was shook. 17 million views? That wasn't just viral, it was a full-on digital detonation. Imagine getting accused of emotional manipulation, only to respond with your own 4K revenge monologue. That's exactly what Nikocado Avocado did. He returned fire with My Response to Stephanie Soo, a video packed with denials, counter-accusations, and enough drama to rival a Real Housewives reunion. Nick claimed Stephanie gave him permission to take those now infamous house photos. He insisted she was capitalizing on controversy, using his name for clout and painting herself as the innocent foodie caught in the crossfire. He wasn't just defending himself, he was staging a full-blown redemption arc with a villain twist. This was no apology tour. This was the Nikocado show, raw, messy, and deeply caffeinated. He accused Stephanie of twisting the narrative, crying for the camera, and hiding the fact that she wasn't as squeaky clean as she made herself seem. If YouTube drama had a Broadway run, this would be the opening act. Hold on to your ramen, folks. In 2021, Nick told Mel magazine the feud was scripted, yes, like WWE, but with more crying and fewer chairs. According to Nick, he and Stephanie planned the entire debacle to boost their online visibility. They were both in on it, supposedly. We knew this would blow us up, he claimed. Cue the plot twist that had fans feeling like they just got catfished. Stephanie didn't respond to confirm or deny this claim. Suspicious? Dramatic? Totally on brand. This bombshell threw a wrench into everything. Was the outrage real? Was the victim narrative rehearsed? Did Nick just blow the whistle on his own hoax, or was he trying to save face like a YouTuber caught in 4K? One thing was clear: if it was fake, they deserve Oscars. If it was real, someone deserves a restraining order. Either way, the curtain had lifted and the audience didn't know whether to clap or cancel. Hold your hats and hide your DMs. Nikocado Avocado came back with the most unexpected plot twist of all: accountability. In his latest video, he didn't just point fingers, he pointed them at himself. And let's be real, nobody expected Mr. It's Just Water Weight to drop a sincere apology. He admitted he was childish, immature, and way too hungry for drama. He acknowledged that forcing Stephanie into gossip she didn't want to be part of was a huge mistake. Then he got real. He apologized for lashing out when she ghosted, for the shady text rants, and for letting his thirst for content steamroll over someone's boundaries. But don't call it a redemption arc just yet. This wasn't a tearful influencer apology in front of a ring light. This was Nick mixing raw honesty with a sprinkle of sass. He's still Nick, after all. He called himself out for the clout-chasing chaos, but didn't let Stephanie off the hook. Turns out, the messiness runs both ways. Now here's where things get controversial. Nick accused Stephanie of weaponizing the Me Too movement in a YouTube feud. Yup, you read that right. He said she used trauma-coded language and imagery to make him look like a predator. According to Nick, Stephanie's video opened with haunting security footage, trembling voiceovers, and a buildup that framed him as dangerous before his name was even dropped. The emotional atmosphere was heavy, the vibes were terrifying, and the internet took the bait. But Nick said it wasn't just dramatic, it was deceptive. He claimed she framed their disagreement about gossiping on camera as something darker and more disturbing, blurring the lines between actual trauma and uncomfortable YouTube drama. His accusation: she used survivor-coded aesthetics as emotional clickbait. That's a bold claim, and if true, it's more than messy, it's morally bankrupt. The comment section? A war zone. Some called him brave, others called him manipulative. Either way, the story had officially leveled up from drama to discourse. Step aside Meryl Streep because Nick is accusing Stephanie of serving Oscar-worthy dramatics. He dissected her video frame by frame like a TikTok conspiracy theorist and claimed her crying fake. Her emotional shifts, scripted. Her vulnerability, a viral marketing tool. He pointed out moments where her voice shook only to return to normal seconds later, and scenes where the tears seemed to vanish faster than his salad. Nick even accused her of intentionally cutting out cheerful moments to maintain a terrified narrative. According to him, she didn't just cry on camera, she directed a drama. This wasn't just a he said, she said anymore. This was a character assassination. On both sides. The internet had to ask, is anyone being real? Or are we all just eating popcorn while two influencers audition for sympathy? One thing's for sure, Stephanie's performance was either heartbreakingly authentic or shockingly rehearsed. And the jury? Still out. If there's one phrase that aged like milk, it's in and out of sleep. What started as Stephanie's reason for canceling a shoot became a meme, a punchline, and a digital landmine. Nick admitted he mocked the excuse publicly, but then the internet connected dots that Nick says weren't even in the same coloring book. Viewers believed he was mocking her past trauma, something Stephanie had only alluded to off camera. Nick insists he had no idea about any such history, and that the mocking was about the excuse, not the person. Still, the damage was done. In and out of sleep became an emotional trigger, and Nick became the villain in a story he says he never meant to star in. It wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a misfire that exploded across comment sections, and as Nick tells it, the most painful part wasn't being hated. It was being hated for something he says he never even did. Who knew that talking about countertops could get you canceled? Stephanie accused Nick of secretly snapping pics of her home, including her security setup. Nick's defense? It was an impromptu episode of Cribs. He said Stephanie gave him a tour, discussed light fixtures, and even pointed out her camera system. But plot twist, Stephanie claimed he took more pics after she left the room. Nick says he stayed in the common area and didn't sneak around. Still, he admits he got too comfortable, too fast. And yeah, snapping pics solo? Not the best look, Nick, but don't let the self-awareness fool you. Nick still held Stephanie accountable, calling her out for what he believes was manipulative storytelling and emotional exaggeration. He wants peace, sure, but he also wants justice. Closure never looked this messy or this monetizable. Fans went from foodie to philosopher real fast. The comment section was on fire. Longtime Stephanie stans admitted Nick's video raised some red flags about her story. Others were still firmly Team Soo. But one thing united them all: confusion. Many praised Nick's video as one of the most honest, raw, and compelling apology drag combos YouTube has ever seen. Some said they'd reconsider their support for Stephanie. Others demanded she respond and take her own accountability lap. One user summed it up best: "I came for mukbang, stayed for courtroom drama." With twists, tears, and timelines getting debunked like conspiracy theories, this wasn't just content. It was a digital docu-series waiting to happen. And the moral of the story? In YouTube world, everyone eats, but sometimes they eat each other.